Hello everybody, I am back and I have some Ofra cosmetics. This is not a new release, but it is new to me. When I saw this come up as a, I think it was one of the subscription boxes add-ons, I thought, you know what, I want to see what this is. So this is one of their mini mix palettes. It's called Good to Go. I don't know if this is in collaboration with somebody else. I should look it up. 4.9 stars out of 5, and I am not seeing if it's in collaboration. I think this is a $39 palette. I got it off of a subscription box for not that much, maybe 12 bucks or something. The one thing you have to be cautious of, I just took the protective cover over the top of the pans, and immediately the pans wanted to move and come out because they are replaceable. Like, you can move them around and stuff like that. But I thought this was like a pretty easy, simple, go-to kind of looking palette, and I thought I would kind of play with some of these colors. I think that the thing that I understand about Ofra, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong because I literally have no experience with them, but I think that the blush, the bronzer, the highlighters, they're safe for your eyes too, so it gives you like multiple shadows and multiple shades to work with. I figured we'd just kind of play with this. I'm going to go into this sort of peachy color matte in here in the corner. I think it's a matte. It's a combination of metallics and mattes. I didn't buy the Samantha March one, the first one that came out. When I'm filming this, I'm waiting to see if I will be able to get the second one, because I think the purples and stuff that she came up with her second Life is a Draft palette is, I think they're really pretty. But I've been saving this because I wanted to wait until it was summer and I had a little bit more color. I don't know why. I think I probably could have easily gotten away with this palette in the winter too, because now looking at this matte shade, it's a very, very soft shade. But we're going to try to darken up the colors a little bit. We're going to try to do something a little bit more interesting. That is a sheer shade. It's not really giving me much of anything. We're going to build on it though. We'll just go down the list here. I'm going to pick up that more of kind of like a burnt orange sort of shade. I'm just going to use the same brush. We'll just do a little in the crease. So I think Ofra is supposed to be one of those, you know, feel good, good for you type brands, which leads me to believe that it's going to be cruelty free and vegan. Does it say on the back of the palette? Mix and match shades in this palette to create bold eye looks, bronze, warm cheeks, and a highlight. So we're doing a warm look today. How are you guys doing? Everybody healthy, or are you guys getting vaccinated? It seems like from what I'm hearing there hasn't been like a shortage, so that's good. I've just been kind of, since I was already positive with COVID last winter, I've just been kind of letting other people go first. But I suspect there's going to be, I think I heard that Canada required a vaccine and then they'll let you in. I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me because I haven't verified it. I just had heard it from somebody that said, oh, I can go there but my boyfriend can't because I've been vaccinated and he hasn't. Drag that down underneath my eyes too. I probably should have done a little bit more concealer under my eyes and I did not. I've got kind of like the dregs of some old mascara on my last eye look. I wasn't as prepared as I probably should have been, but since this is like a full face palette, I figured, well, let's do a full face. Okay, I'm gonna grab a little bit different brush, maybe a cleaner brush. This one's slightly bigger than I want though. I'm gonna go into a smaller clean brush and we're gonna go into this, what would I call that, a berry shade? I'm gonna call that berry. I wanna do something with that green, but I don't know what to do yet. I have not seen anybody else's reviews on this. I've not seen anybody's eye looks on it. I'm just kind of going through what I would do as a non-makeup artist to grab it and try to put together a look. I don't mind the idea of all-in-one face palettes, because to me, especially if you're traveling or if you don't have a lot of space and you're, you know, kind of like a minimalist anyway, or you're on a budget and you don't want to have a whole collection of products, I really feel like, you know, the all-in-ones, I mean, I like them to put them in a car, you know, just to kind of have them on the go, a carry-on or a work bag, your desk drawer, you know, any day that you need a little extra, either because it was an emotional day or because you've got something going on later on, or because you were just late and you're wearing a mask all day anyway, so don't have to worry about putting on any makeup, but now you're going to be somewhere where you want to put on makeup. You know what I'm talking about. I'm going to go back into that first shade, just up here a little bit to kind of blend in that. That feels very sunsetty, you know? course, when I look at this, the first thing I see is this sort of minty green, but I think I'm gonna skip it. There are two other shimmers in here that are really beautiful. So I think this is the way you can use this. I didn't do this right now, but I think like this would be a really beautiful look over here. And I actually think this would be a really beautiful look over here too. And then you've got, you know, your bronzers and your other stuff too to kind of meld in there. But because of that, since that, I'm just gonna grab this. It's almost like a rose gold shimmer just on my finger and just kind of press it into the eyelid. Yeah, I didn't realize I was doing this kind of sunset vibe right now. I can tell you that the colors are creamy. They seem buildable and they seem blendable, which are two things that I really like to look for and that makes me kind of gravitate towards a palette. You know, I hadn't been super inspired by this. I got it because it was Ofra and people rave about Ofra highlighters. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna try it because it's got, you know, the highlighter in it and it's got other products and I'm just gonna see how it looks. And I went a little crazy with that last color here. It's been sitting here for so long and I was like, okay, well, one of these days I'll film a look with this palette. I almost feel like I could do 3 looks with this palette. Okay, I think that's really pretty. I wanted to use that gold too, but yeah, you know what? I'm gonna take a little tiny bit of that gold, this kind of bronzy gold right here, and I'm gonna put that right on the center. Oh yeah, it's really pretty. Yeah, I think that and the orange would make a really pretty look. I'm just in here tapping around and then I'm like, oh, well, I could have done this and I could have done that, and that's a good sign for me if I'm inspired enough to want to, you know, do other looks. That is not a waste of money at all. You know, if makeup is your creative outlet. If makeup's not your creative outlet, what are you doing here? This is not the channel for you. Or maybe it is, I don't know. This is the channel for everybody, we don't care. The more the merrier. And I just went a little even more with that very first shade, just kind of blending in places. And I really want to grab that darker one again and just kind of build this up a little bit. I'm just tapping it on. I'm like stippling that shade on. You know what? I like these colors. Yeah. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about them at first, but I really like them. Okay, since I'm going a little overboard with the shades anyway, we are going to take that minty green, only I'm going to put it on the bottom lash line. I didn't mean to go in and use every color on this palette, but since we're doing it, I do think that's actually a really pretty green, and I feel like I'm wearing more and more of it this year than I have maybe in previous years. I need some eyeliner. I've got a Milk Makeup liner, and I think this is kind of like a bronzy color. I gotta get the one side that opens up here. Okay, yeah, it's kind of like a bronzy color. We're gonna use that. Not really a brown, softer than a black. Great. Have a little eyeliner on. I need some mascara. I'm gonna use my Thrive Cosmetics in Bryn. When I decided I wanted to film with this, I didn't do a very good job of cleaning off that last mascara. I am curious, have you guys been purchasing, or are you guys familiar with Ofra? It feels like a brand that a lot of people like love, but it's not one that I see. Like, I don't go into stores and see it. So I don't know, either their displays are hidden or I'm just oblivious. So, not a makeup artist, not a professional YouTuber either. No, I didn't put any of this in PR. Ching up that a little bit. I do have my base makeup on, in case you couldn't figure that out. Today, I've got a little bit of the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hydrating Illuminator. So I have a little bit of that first, and then I went over the top of it with some Flower Beauty Get Real Serum Foundation. A little tiny bit of concealer today. It's just the Ulta Beauty one. I don't even know why this is in here or how long I've had it. I did use a little bit of the e.l.f. Under Eye Brightener. Let's go into the other side of the palette. So we do have a bronzer, blush, and like a 4-pack of highlighters. So we're gonna start with the bronzer / contour. And I've been using this a little higher. I'm kind of going back to my old way of doing, instead of doing like a contour, but more of keeping the color up a little bit, and then I think it gives you kind of like that illusion of a hollow without actually going into a hollow. That's actually really pretty. Okay, I can tell you that my first impression of this palette is that everything is very sheer, but that bodes well for people like me who have a little bit of a heavy hand. I feel like you can really build it up, and I think it is buildable, which it is, again, I think I mentioned this earlier with the eyeshadows. It's kind of just key for me to be able to control how much I put on. And it feels darker in the camera that I'm seeing it with all the lights and, you know, my mirror. Not a professional YouTuber, which means I don't always have my lighting situation figured out. You guys tired of hearing that? The bronzer's good, actually. It's not too red. It seems more on the matte side, and I like it. I feel like I got a little patchy, like right in through here, but we're gonna go over the top of it with the blush. So I'm just picking up a little of it, and like I expected, it does not go on super bold. This is actually a well-curated palette, I gotta be honest. For someone like me with my skin tone, this is, I'm shedding. This is a Morphe brush that's shedding. This is a good palette, actually. I think I'm liking that little pop of green for something interesting. I can see using that with like a blue eyeliner, like a navy blue eyeliner. I think would be actually kind of fun. Or maybe a burgundy. Oh, that looks bolder on camera than it does in real life here. We're gonna try to clean this up just a little bit. Take that down a little bit. Going a little overboard here. Okay, very glowy is what I'm gonna say. Oh, we have highlighter. I don't ever use highlighter here. Okay. So they give you 4 highlighters. One is very kind of almost like cool tone pink. You've got a yellow champagne color. You've got more of, I'd call it a darker champagne, and then another champagne. I mean, one of them is more, I would say maybe kind of more of a warmer color. I don't know. I don't know which one to use with my skin tone right now. I almost feel like I want to use the darker one and just kind of see how this goes. And I think that was the right choice. Wow. That highlighter is crazy bold. I'm not normally a beaming highlighter from space kind of person, so we're gonna just dab my foundation brush just over the top of it, just to kind of push it into the skin a little bit. But that's pretty. Do the same thing over here, keeping it away from my eye crinkles. Getting it to the top of my cheekbone, kind of overlapping that blush a little bit, and then we're just gonna press it into the skin. All right, Ofra. You know what, I want a little bit of one of those highlighters on my inner corner. I think I'm gonna use this one, which is the one right next. I was using that one on my cheeks. I'm gonna use that one in my inner corner. That's what I needed. Tie it in with that green, drag it a little bit into the top. That is exactly what I needed here. Wow, that makes a beautiful inner corner highlight. The highlighter is the only one I feel like I didn't need to dip into a bunch of times to get the color path that I was looking for. And I don't normally highlight my brow bone, but I'm feeling a little extra right now. Okay, so yeah, the palette I'm surprisingly thrilled with. This is one that I would absolutely use, and I should be using it. Okay, I do have 2 other lip colors. I'm thinking right now, we're gonna use both of them. This one is, they're both lip glosses. I probably didn't need both lip glosses here. This one's called Truffle. So I've got Truffle and I have Natural. We're gonna use Truffle. I do have a little bit of Thrive Cosmetics headliner lipstick on already. Oh yeah, this is pretty. Okay, again, I'm having to go in quite a bit to get the product out. The little doe foot applicator doesn't really scoop out very much. I might have just solved my problem. The applicator feels like it's almost like a spongy doe foot, which is fine, but it's not, it didn't really grab a lot of product initially. Okay, I need to put a little setting powder on. I'm just gonna get this Fenty Beauty one sitting here because I was using it earlier, and I think it's in shade Cashew. This is not an eye look I meant to do today, but I like it. I think it's actually completely fine, completely appropriate. What do you guys think? I used just about every shade on that palette, and I like it. All right, you guys, now that I have fingerprints on it. So, Ofra Cosmetics Mini Mix Palette, good to go. I don't know if you guys have it. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the products. This is literally the first time I've ever used up one of the Ofra palettes. and I really like it. I'm shocked at how much I like it. I hope you guys are doing really well, and yeah, leave me a comment down below. Tell me, what is your experience with Ofra? Are there other products that they offer that you recommend, that you love? I mean, from you guys, I have found so many different amazing products, and it's fun to see if a lady of a certain age can pull off the products. Is it something that we would feel comfortable leaving the house in? Is it easy? Is it user-friendly for a layperson, somebody who's not a makeup artist? So that's kind of like what we like to do here. Appreciate you guys so much. I care about you. Feel free to follow me over on Instagram. DM me over there if you want to. I try to make sure to comment or, you know, reply back, and I love conversations. So feel free to reach out to me over there if you'd like. And until my next video, bye for now.